yeah, next year, see what we can sort out. And you know, he always, you know, comments on, you know, the kids and how close it is and how professional they all look. So it's really positive.
And no, thank you very much, Annie. And speaking of the kids, I know something that you're particularly proud of doing. We're watching the Federation Cup will be up next for the DRS62 class, and these are the drivers that haven't made the main Grand Prix, but all these young drivers, Andy, you're very familiar with. You've coached them through the season, you and the team here in the DRS Young Drivers Academy, and just, you know, what a fantastic way to give youngsters the first taste of karting in the DRS Young Academy. Well,
that's right, because obviously with Daniel's Academy we have all the, you know, everyone has to start somewhere, and as you say, as the numbers are growing, we can have this Federation Cup, and as you say, it's a good experience for the kids to actually start on pole position, or grid 2 or grid 3 or grid 4, you know, rather than being right at the back. So it's all about experience. And of course, from yesterday, with it being so wet, you know, all of the drivers are having to adapt every lap because they haven't done anything here in the dry. You know, some of them will get the setup right with the tyre pressures, some of them won't, the carburation. So there are still a lot of factors that can make a little difference. But it'll be good to see in this Federation Cup who's up and coming. And obviously we intend to run this more because I think we're going to have bigger numbers next year, so it's the shape of things to come for sure.
Now the 2020 calendar is out. We're watching the rolling lap for the Federation Cup. 6 drivers, 22 have made it into the main event. We'll pick up the action as it goes on. We've got Daniel Weir, Adam Bourne, Owen Keenan, Oliver Harrison, Hadley Simpson and Jamie Warner coming to the line. But the 2020 calendar is out as well, so you know, plenty of time for people. Oh, look at that, they're giving us another rolling lap. It's a chance. The 2020 calendar is out, so this is something that people watching back home thinking about, well, where can we maybe have a little look and speak the championship and where are they racing last year. That's all out and on the Facebook page.
So yeah, so you, for example here, 116 Owen Keenan, he's in a demo today, and this is his first race, so he passed the driver evaluation yesterday. Has done a bit of indoor, yeah, so if you're racing at your local indoor track, at Team Sport or another local indoor track, or at Daytona or Butmore Park, anywhere where you can get some experience, you can obviously arrange to have a demo on a Saturday and see what it's like. You can do that once, and then once you've done that, you know, and you obviously work out how you're going to get started, then you can purchase a car and get racing.
And of course, the fact that you can start from the second row of the grid in the Federation Cup, it's great experience. You know, coming through the tran lines, we're often racing. It's a great start, and you know, again, Daniel Weir leads the field into the first corner, and again, these drivers, the rookie drivers with the black plates and the white numbers, they tend to start a little bit further back in the heats, even in qualifying, with the qualifying format. But this is the chance now to race amongst themselves. This, in a way, there's a lot less pressure because they know they're around drivers that are just starting out just as themselves.
Yeah, so you know, a lot of these kids, as I say, they haven't done a full season, or you know, they may unfortunately be in here.
Bit of bad luck.
Yeah. And but yeah, there is a trophy for the Federation Cup. It's not possible to get from the Federation Cup into the main Grand Prix. So effectively, they're getting, whoever wins is getting 23rd place points effectively. Yeah,
this is a race within itself. It's not a transfer race. It's not a repechage. It's nothing like that. It's its own standalone Federation Cup. Yeah, they're fighting for 23rd place points in there. Daniel Weir in cut number 2. Looking at number 114, Hadley Simpson there on your screen again, looking over the shoulder. And it's, the racing is obviously very good, but again, this is a good chance for the drivers to worry about slipstreaming and to learn a bit of racecraft against drivers that are at the same level as them, that are at the same level of experience. You can see them coming out of turn number 4 at the number 122, Adam Bourne. He had a spin in his earlier heat race, and he's in 3rd position looking at on your screens. And of course, as well, courtesy, you know, because of the live streaming, it's a great chance to give everybody a little bit of coverage as well with the driver pictures, the sponsor lists and things like that. It's great that you know, these youngsters, they can show their parents, or the parents can show sponsors, family members. This is what they do on the weekend.
Yeah, well, obviously Daniel and Hadley obviously joining us this season. Jamie caught the back end of last year. You know, he's done all season. So Jamie's, you know, he can do it. I would expect him really to be putting a bit more pressure onto Adam, and confidence is everything. So you know, let's see if Jamie can move up the field a little bit, and I think if he does, so he's going up the inside here, and he's got to get along. I think he's done it.
Yep.
So yeah,
past Adam Bourne.
So that was good. So that, and then let's see if he can get after the next target, which is it Hadley?
Hadley Simpson, yeah, in second place. And Jamie Warner, he's back here. He's actually 17th in the championship, but he gambled on slick tyres in his heat race, which was not the gamble to take, and that's why he finished right down towards the back. So again, not back here because he's one of the slower drivers, just had a tyre choice gamble that didn't go quite wrong. Here's your race leader, Daniel Weir, in kart number 120. And Daniel, who he started at Shellington, and he was one of the drivers that, again, a great example of coming to the academy, and then after the third round of the academy, thought, right, we're gonna have a go. We're quick enough.
Well, yeah, I mean, he lovely family, and this is the other thing for families that are watching. So Daniel came and he did the academy. Now his family come from Cornwall,
which is a long, in karting terms, it's a long way from anywhere.
It's a long way to anywhere. So it's yeah. So the commitment from his mum and dad, and all the mums and dads, you know, it's great to go racing, but there is a little bit of commitment in time as well as the financial implications. But you know, they come away, they have a great weekend. And but yeah, it's a real team effort. It's just not all about the driver. It's about the mums and dads and brothers and sisters, and you know, it's a good weekend.
And I suppose people watching back home, they're thinking, oh, I like the idea of it. And you can see Owen Keenan having a really good battle with Oliver Harrison there. So his first time out there, just coming across the screen there. There's the top two. Here's the battle for 5th and 6th. There's the battle for 3rd. There's a move. So Bourne going back at the inside of Warner. They're having a good scrap together. It's a great time. They can race amongst themselves. They're battling over 3rd place in the Federation Cup. And here's Keenan and Harrison battling over 5th place in the Federation Cup. And again, you know, even though Keenan's starting, he's still got someone to race with in Owen Harrison. I think in some of the heat races, Keenan was a little bit shelled out of the back. But mentioned about coming from Cornwall and thinking yourself, oh, we're new to karting. Obviously, on the back of the screen, you can see all the different trucks. There's a move for, yeah, he's back into 3rd place, so it's a good battle. You can see all the family camper vans, there's the single easy up awnings. There is a way for people that are new to karting that maybe not have the mechanical knowledge yet of karting to have their kart prepared and run in-house by the Daniel Ricciardo series. But other than that, there's no big teams, there's no big awnings. You know, you're not going against, you know, lots of money like in other forms of karting. It's lots of families doing it on their own, helping each other as they go. So it's a great, you know, for people that are new, families that are new to karting, it's a great way to start on a level playing field.
Yeah, so the everybody has to buy the kart. Obviously the kart's all the same, and you need some wet tyres and stuff. So if you buy everything brand new, you're probably talking, including the kart and your wets and your trolley to wheel it about, and your crash helmet and suit and stuff, you're probably talking about an investment of £4,000. And then if you're running, as you say, oh, here goes Adam again.
It's a really good battle, by the way. You know, yeah, they're not, no quarter asked and none given.
No. And yeah, so once you've got all your stuff to do the whole championship, to include everything apart from your travelling, most of the DRS62s are spending around about £2,000 to £3,000 for the year.
Yep.
So that's including your tyres, your entries, your fuel, your bits and bobs, your chain, your sprocket, your consumables. So it is, you know, it's still a lot of money, but compared to many other categories in karting, it's half the cost. And then, as you say, if you obviously have to travel, like we have some people that come from Scotland, we do technical support. It's not a team. It is purely, you know, basically two technicians. It's technicians running the car, i.e. fueling it and making sure it's going to run right. Everybody in the paddock gets the same setup, and it just means that if someone is not mechanically minded at all, obviously the guys just make sure the carts are right. And then everybody in the paddock, we only have our official driver coaches allowed. So you can, obviously, if you want to reserve one of those and work with one of those on the Saturday only, you can do. So it means on Sunday, everybody's the same. No coaches, anything else like that.
Yeah, well, it results in a very happy, homely, friendly paddock and some great racing on circuit and some really good, some excellent racing in all categories. But again, seeing the rookies with the black plates and the white numbers coming through, and I think we've seen Cody Eustace in the DRS 100 class running in the top 5 against a lot of the more experienced drivers. This race here, we've got Daniel Weir still leading. He's 3.5 seconds in front of Hadley Simpson. Then we've got 2 battles, one for 3rd and 4th place we've been watching on screen between the 122 of Adam Bourne and the 101 of Jamie Warner, and then this scrap for 5th place between Owen Keenan in cart number 116 and the number 118 of Oliver Harrison. And again, Keenan's very first race. Oliver Harrison looking down to see if, I think this is maybe his 2nd or 3rd outing. He's still a very new driver.
Yeah, he's come up from a category outside of our series called Bambino, which is for 6 to 8 years old. Yeah, so it's quite a big of a difference in the speed and the style. But yeah, Oliver, you know, he just needs a bit of confidence here. For me, he's quicker than Keenan for sure, and I think he just needs to get a little bit more inventive and go for it.
Yeah, because it's all that there's being quicker than this,
be it.
And then there's being quicker than there's having the sort of the bravery to stuff it up the inside and hope that you don't spin out. But of course, the racecraft that just comes with practice, and you can see. And say, to be fair to Keenan's doing an excellent job holding his line. We're not seeing any weaving around. We're not seeing any, you know, like you do tend to see. He's just holding his line. He runs a little bit wide. The back end steps out, and now you see Harrison having a little look going into turn number 4. But again, you know, Keenan just doing exactly what he's been taught in the academy, just running his line, concentrating on what's in front of him and not what's going on behind him, and just then it's up to Owen Harrison to make a move and to make something happen. But now we're side by side as the camera pans away to look back at the exit of turn number 5. There's your race leader, Daniel Weir, leading by nearly 5 seconds now. He's still pushing, as you can see there, the back end stepping out ever so slightly. But again, so Daniel Weir looking back, and you think how, and again, for you to see a driver progress so much with the final 20 seconds now, a driver starting out and then dominating a Federation Cup event like this, driving with the poise, the skill, the racecraft, that again, something that...
well, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's. I remember leading a race when I raced, and it's quite a scary thing. It doesn't matter if it's a heat or a Federation Cup or a Grand Prix, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, no, I remember that. I remember that well. It didn't happen very often to me, but it did occasionally.
Well, no, for him, and he'll remember this. And obviously, he did the academy. In the academy, we put out cones on the track for braking points and the apex and the line. So it's all about teaching the kids the proper racing lines, and of course, then they've got to remember that because obviously during racing there aren't any cones.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, last lap board goes out. So through turn number 1. One more time around this 900-metre circuit for Daniel Weir, who just sets the fastest lap of the race as well. So 43.905, which is a very good lap there for Daniel Weir. He is 6 seconds in front of Hadley Simpson, who's all on his own. And then there's a big gap back. So even though the racing is quite spread out, you can see that, you know, for Weir, this is a great bit of experience. Through turn number 5 we go. Again, not getting quite so leery coming out of turn number 5 as we did last lap. Into the chicane now. I think Harrison might have just made the move on Keenan, but one corner to go, checkered flag out, and a great Federation Cup win.
He's happy.
He's happy, and again, he takes a nice celebration as he crossed the line. 2nd place for Hadley Simpson. Here's the battle between Bourne and Warner. It looks like it's going to go the way of Jamie Warner coming out of the final corner, but again, another great race-long battle.
He's happy as well.
And yeah, that's the thing. You're seeing the youngest drivers finishing the day with a smile on their face. We now wait for Harrison, who did, as you said, he's a quicker driver. He finally made the move, and he's happy with 5th. But Owen Keenan should be very proud of his very first race day experience here at Hooton Park.
Well, he hadn't driven a a two-stroke car until yesterday. So
Oh, that's even all the more impressive. Well done all, but your Federation Cup winner in DRS62, Daniel Weir.